We welcome you into Lakota West High School. We are just minutes away from tip-off of the start of another playoff season. I'm Daniel Panetti, joined alongside Isaac Vargo for today's game. It's the 18 seed Mason Comets versus the number 2 Princeton Vikings. And Isaac, it's the third time this year that these two teams have met each other. Both times the Vikings have taken it, but that wouldn't matter at all tonight if the Comets can get a win.
Yeah, absolutely. All roads lead to here. None of the games before this matter. It's playoff basketball. It's in a GMC arena between two teams that know each other. As you said before, the Comets have a lot of experience with Princeton. They've kept it close multiple occasions this year against Princeton in the in the second half in the first meeting. They played very well after Princeton came out really well at Mason, and then at Princeton it was almost a tie game at halftime. So this Comet team knows each other. It's really tough to beat a team 3 times in a row, and you got to think the guys in white are going to have a chip on their shoulder today.
Yeah, we look at those two meetings. First time they met at the Mason Arena. It was the second game of the season for the Princeton Vikings. It was led by Ragni Santiago, who he had 5 threes in that game. Sebastian Jordan, 14 points. And Kieran Gransville-Britton, the 6'9 center, who we're going to mention a lot tonight. He had 8 points along with 10 rebounds. In that second game, it was at Princeton. The Vikings had a 71-42 win, led by the same guys, as well as Amir Gill, who had 16 points in that game. So the Comets, the size is not in their favor. They're going to need a great game plan from Coach Dewey tonight if they want to pull up a major upset.
Yeah, you walk into the arena, you see number 24, Britton. You see he is a problem, one of the biggest forces in the paint in the GMC. And obviously, this Princeton team has multiple guys that can shoot it from deep. Ragni Santiago and Jordan Johnson can shoot it from deep. They're going to have to rebound the basketball and take care of the basketball, have positive possessions, and knock down some threes to win this game.
We continue to look at the Princeton Vikings. They come in victorious of 12 of their last 13, including an 8-0 run in January. But their biggest win probably of that stretch was their last one last Friday at Fairfield. It was for the GMC championship, and not only did they win, but they won by a wide margin, a 66-41 win led by Santiago, 22 points in that game. And that Princeton-Fairfield rivalry is so tough, and we went to that game thinking that was going to be one of the best games of the season, but the Vikings, they played incredible, and they play like that versus the Comets tonight. It's going to be a pretty easy win for them.
Yeah, absolutely. They got a lot of confidence coming into this game. Obviously, 12 of the last 13 and winning that GMC title have something. They're looking to be a state contender this year, but playing a Comets team that are 16, 17 seed, that is not a team I'd want to be playing in the first round, especially as a GMC foe.
That's it for pregame. We'll head to a break. Next time we see you, it'll be tip-off. Stay tuned here. Tip-off just a few minutes here on Mason Sports Radio. We welcome you back in to Lakota West High School for the start of this playoff game. Your starting five for the Mason Comets: number 1, Bryson Johnson; number 3, Dylan Ringwald; number 5, Tyler Lupinski; and then Max Sherplin and Wyatt Cooper. On the flip side for the Vikings, it's Rodney Santiago, as well as Jordan Johnson, number 2, Aaron Phipps, 5, Sebastian Jordan, 10, and Granville Britton, number 24.
How about that? Starting off already, 6'3", Cherpalin on 6'9", Britton. He wins the tip.
What a shot there, and a great start from the Comets. Max Sherplin starts it off with the 2.
We mentioned earlier in the broadcast, this is going to be a tough out for Princeton, especially in round 1. This Comet team is gritty. They've been very competitive all year long, but haven't put two halves together. We'll see if they can today.
Phipps goes in one-on-one on Tyler Lupinski, and that 2 ball goes. We're tied up 2-2 early into this game.
Man finish right there. Phillips, one of the only sophomores on the team, one of the biggest of this Princeton team. Besides Britton, Princeton is pretty undersized overall.
Tyler Lupinski on the right side, guarded by Phipps, back out to Cooper. Cooper thought about the 3, fakes out. Britton goes up with the 2, no good. And the rebound goes to Jordan Johnson. Now to the right side at the right wing. Santiago.
Good job by the Comets getting back in defense. Princeton's going to want to run and gun all night long.
Far 3 from the right wing, and he hits it. A big 3 to start out for the Vikings.
That's the thing about Santiago. When he knocks him down at will. This is a kid that went 6 for 12 from 3 in the first matchup against the Comets, and then a game after that went 0 for 11 from the field. So a streaky shooter, if he gets going early for Princeton, it could be ugly.
That's Santiago's 46th three-pointer of the season, first out of any player in the GMC. He hit 5 in that last game, 6 in that last game versus Fairfield, and has hit plenty against the Comets this season. Already a 5-2 lead for the Vikings, as they're showing a bit of a full court press. The Comets have seen this many times and have struggled.
Yeah, you can see early Princeton's trying to play into the Comets' hands, play in that at their own way, trying to get the Comets to go fast there to the baseball pass. A little bit too far. Johnson will take it out.
Johnson gonna throw it in under their basket. Whistle called, and it looks like he might have taken too long. As the Vikings will take over.
I'm very interested to see what approach Coach Tui will take in this game. If he's going to take that aggressive approach and try and get a lead early and stay how they've played all year. If he's going to take it a little bit slow, they get the lead early, they slow this game down completely. Take the ball out of the basketball.
Gill had it, now out to Phipps. He gets it back out to Santiago. Comets pushed up on defense. You like the look. You want to keep, or you would say you want to keep this team on the outside, but they've been so good from 3. That ball off the hands of Jordan Johnson, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, the Comets are going to have to work all night long on the defensive end. It's going to mostly be these 6, 7 to 8 guys. Jacob Lipinski started on the bench with his injury with his ankle. He was out a couple games, and ever since he's gotten limited minutes, mostly coming off the bench for that help.
Johnson goes in on Wyatt Cooper, back in with the left hand. A nice shot and a cross-bodied for Johnson.
I mean, Jordan Johnson, one of the most shifty players you'll see in the whole GMC conference. He can finish and he can shoot it. Comets got to keep him in check if they want to win this game.
Nice pass down. Dylan Ringwald swatted away. Now the Vikings quickly going in motion. Johnson once again drives in. No good on the shot. It's rebounded by Tyler Lupinski.
Comets got to be careful and slow things down. Play at their own pace. Princeton's really good, as we've said earlier today. Really good at speeding you up, getting you in uncomfortable situations. Talk about a heads-up play there from Jordan Johnson. He does it on the offensive end, but again, one of the best undersized guards at the perimeter end. And He's owned Bryson Johnson these 2 games that they've played. They've been matched up. He's been in the shoes all day long. That's a matchup that should not disappoint. Trends checks in for the first time to give Britton.
Santiago goes in on top of 2. Tried to find number 11 out there, but out to Johnson left side, and he's fouled by Santiago going up.
That's exactly what you want. The Comets are not going away from Princeton. A couple shots blocked early in this game, but if you want to get their best players in foul trouble, that one was on Jordan, his first only team second of the game. You got to go into their body. They have more athleticism than you. Johnson
a 75% free throw shooter, hits the first one. That makes it a 7-4 ball game with 4 minutes. Sorry, 7-3 ball game with 4 minutes and 52 seconds left here in the first.
Something I mentioned, Comets, all 4 of them in the backcourt. No one going to get the rebound. Not trying to get beat on the way back.
Johnson hit both of those free throws. Now it's taken up by number 12, Arvani Gill. One of 3 Gills on this team. Out to the top, gets it back out to Gill, down low now. Britton is gonna go up with it. The hook shot is good. I mean, how do you defend that, Isaac?
These Comets are working. That's just unfair with the matchup disadvantage. But Britton this year, close inside. He hasn't had the greatest touch, so you'll take that shot if you're the Comets.
Johnson up top. Out to left side, Ringwald. Now, sorry, that's Tyler Lupinski. Now to Ringwald, 3 ball, too far. It goes out of bounds. It looks like it'll stay with the Comets.
A break for the Comets. Britton just tipped it out. Lipinski will check in for the first time today, going to get his brother.
Yeah, you look at Lipinski's last game, was held scoreless one of the few times this season that the junior has, and had 4 personal fouls. The guy who's gotten into foul trouble many times. They cannot afford that today. He gets it into Ringwald on the left wing. Pauses now to Austin Trentz. He'll take a 3, and he hits it. Big 3 from the freshman, brings it to a 2-point game. What a big shot for the Comets.
A little bit of a no look there from Dylan Ringwald. Austin Trentz has been phenomenal from behind the 3-point line over the course of the season, but again, those backdoor cuts beating the Comets.
Amir Gill gets his first of the night. That makes it 11-7 lead for the Vikings. And Isaac, here early, it's only a few minutes into the game, but you like what you're seeing from the Comets. They've pulled this, within a 2-point, 4-point game most of tonight. And this is kind of the same fight we saw versus Lakota West. That one tipped away by Gill. He goes up on top of Sherplin and gets the 2.
And that's one of the main keys for this Comet team. They're going to be pressured all day long, and Bryson Johnson in specific has to be very careful with the ball. And that's got to be the game plan going into this game. They have to keep it as close as possible all game long. Right now, only a 6-point game, still plenty of time already in the first quarter, but 3 fouls for Princeton, only a couple more, and the Comets will get free shots.
Yeah, that's already foul number 3 for the Vikings. It's a team that's gotten themselves into foul trouble many times this year. A couple guys over 50 personal fouls on the season. Comets, one of their strengths is free throw shooting, so getting them to the line would mean good for the Comets.
Cooper's got to get going from 3. When he's on fire, the Comets have a chance in any game.
He hits 6 in the overtime, lost to Fairfield. That shot from Johnson, no good. Trentz gets the rebound. He takes one from 3. Bryson Johnson lets it go from the triple range and hits it 13-10.
It's a big time shot. Not often do you see a guard undersized like him and not shoot a lot of 3-pointers, but he's more of an inside threat.
Britton, his first 3 of the season, was 0 for 5 all year. Isaac, a 6'9" center, just hit a 3-pointer.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it, and you'll give him that shot all day. Something to mention, these rims at Lakota West are very bouncy, so it's a very shooter-friendly rim. something to keep in mention if both these teams stay hot from the three-point line.
Ringwald, heavy defense, gets it out to Johnson. Now out to Jacob Lupinski. Swat away, but he's able to keep it. Now Johnson, a nice spin, goes up with it, no call. Off of the one-handed shot, he was looking for it. Instead, Santiago will take it in transition. And Santiago's fouled. No, it looks like that one goes against the Vikings.
Comets trying to get the jump ball there, couldn't. She did get the jump ball going in Princeton's direction.
It was a jump ball, some miscommunication. Pass down, gets the and one.
That's just a tough finish there from Santiago Lugo. That's Johnson is on Lugo all day today, and he's got to definitely be physical. Hands were up, but the push before the shot went up got the foul. And that's Bryson's second already. That is huge if you're Princeton.
Lugo, shooting one.
Santiago at the line. Hits the free throws to the and one opportunity. Goes perfectly for the Vikings. A 19-10 lead here early. A minute 30 left in the first.
Yeah, this is a huge possession for the Comets. Down 9, their most of today. This is usually when we see the Comets start to fold and lose leads. But it's crucial today that they keep it as close as possible.
This defense from the Vikings is as tight as can be. They're not letting the Comets get a step in front. Johnson went right before a whistle gets blown. It's going to be a foul against Sebastian Jordan, number 10. That's 4 for the Vikings. One more gets the Comets in the bonus.
Yeah, if you're the Comets, you got to take this to the basket, or if you have a wide open three-pointer, take that, but you got to get to the line.
Nice hustle there from Bryson Johnson. He hits the 2, makes it a 19-12 game. Johnson has 7 here early.
Exactly what you like to see.
3-point shot is good. Jordan Johnson, another 3. And man, these 3 balls from the Aviators will not miss.
Got to be careful. Bryson Johnson on the sideline over there. He's already got 2. Coach Tui keeping him out there, mostly because it's the main Mason scorer.
Lupinski will take a 3 from the corner. A 3-point shootout here in Lakota West. Both teams straining it from the triple range.
Again, those rims are going to be in for a high affair. Comets got to get a stop here, just about 10 seconds.
Vikings just going to take it down. Floater, no good. And the buzzer sounds. We'll head to the end of the first. 22-15 lead for the Princeton Vikings. We'll head to a break. Stay tuned for the second here on Mason Sports Radio. We welcome you back for the start of the second period here in Lakota West High School for round 1 of the OHSAA playoffs. The 18-seeded Mason Comets versus the 2-seeded Princeton Vikings. They have a lead 22-15.
Yeah, the Comets finished with that big three-pointer and that stop.
Johnson's three, no good. Big rebound by Sherplin. But a whistle blown before he tried to go back up with it.
Yeah, Princeton with 4 fouls in that first quarter, 1 away from the Comets being in the bonus, but it's been a lot of contact down there, as you would expect. Oh, that's a second already. Second on Sebastian Jordan, second for the Princeton Vikings, and that's a way that this Comet team can get back in the game. If they're not shooting well from 3, which right now they are, they can get to the line and execute that way.
Johnson currently leads the team with 7. They're going to need a big game from the junior tonight if they're going to want to stay in this one. He gets it out to Cooper on the left wing. Comets will recenter it up top. Out to Cooper. He's been silent so far tonight.
Good close out there from Phillips on Cooper.
Cooper falls, turnover. Johnson goes up with it, back to Phipp. And he hits the 2. Phipps once again. And so many times tonight, Isaac, the Vikings have had those fast break opportunities, catching the Comets off guard, just getting an easy steal and having that 2-on-1 or that 1-on-1 chance, and they're connecting every time.
Yeah, that's Princeton's identity. They're going to want to make this a track meet, and Comets are more of a slow-paced team, get everything figured out, but right now it's only a 9-point game, 7 minutes, plenty of time in this second quarter. The Comets just got to slow down. I like this timeout from Coach Tui. Coming right out of the timeout, obviously he had a play going. You knew what you were going to do, but it didn't execute. He was frustrated, and he got his team all figured out. And sometimes you don't see that from a coach most of the time, but now that we're playoff time against a 2-seed like Princeton, everything has to go perfectly for them to win this game.
We talked about Wyatt Cooper many times tonight. When he's going, the Comets are going in that 24-point game versus Fairfield, where he hit 6 of the 11 three-pointers he took. Right now he's scoreless. The Comets need number 24 to start shooting.
Yeah, he's got to be asking with everybody on the floor, why is Britton guarding me? A 6'9" matchup is tough. It's a 5-second call there on Johnson. Johnson with the coverage. Great defense. You don't see a lot of 5-second calls. And another timeout from Coach Tui. He is making sure the Comets are in order early.
And you have to. You're facing the number 2 seeded team in your region. You need to play your best game of the season, and it feels like the Comets have been doing that recently. You look at last game versus Lakota West. You know, they played one of their best games of basketball, and that was because guys like Tyler Lupinski, Bryson Johnson were playing so physical. Right now they find themselves down 9, and this timeout, Coach Tui, they've got to get them to regroup a little bit.
Yeah, Coach Tui multiple times this year. He's had a couple timeouts left on the clock once it expires, about 2 timeouts in most games this season, but he's making sure that his group is on the same page against this Princeton team.
Absolutely.
It's a big possession for the Comets on the defensive end. Princeton hasn't had a double-digit lead all day.
Vikings will have it. Gets it out to Britton on the right side, guarded by Tyler Lupinski. Gets it out to Phipps. Comets' tallest guy on this team, we'd likely say, is Max Sherplin or the Lupinskis. Those twos from Britton, no good. The Comets just don't have anybody height-wise that can match up with Britton, which is what makes that matchup so nice on paper for Princeton. 3-ball is good.
Santiago.
Another one.
Man, when he is clicking, he is clicking. I have a feeling today this kid is not going to miss. And Comets down 12. They got to go quick.
9 already for Santiago Lugo. I think all 3 or 2 of those have came from the 3-point line. That's a Wyatt Cooper on the corner, guarded by Phipps. Almost loses it. Now the Comets check it back up.
The Comets got to find an offense here. It's mostly just pass around perimeter, trying to see who's going next. And this perimeter defense, especially from Johnson, is unbelievable.
Comets just looking for any sort of opening. They don't have any. Looks like it'll be a call against the Vikings. Phipps. That's 3 already for the Vikings in this quarter. A team that in the first they got up to 4 fouls. They're already reaching that mark with still over 5 minutes left in the period.
Yeah, Trent's checking into the game, trying to get a 3-point spark and a little bit of size.
Trent has already hit 1 tonight. Johnson's going to go in, floater, too far.
Again, that's huge. A foul on Britton. That's his second, team's 4th. And Johnson going to the line. That's something that you like to see for sure as a Comet team. If they can get Britton out of this game, it is a way different Princeton team with their lack of height besides him.
Absolutely, guys. Averaging over 12 points a game. Johnson is now 3 for 3 from the line so far tonight. So far having a very good game, and we've looked at this Comet offense so far tonight. Those first couple possessions, you know, they were looking very good, but here recently they've been stuck on that perimeter at the 3-point line. They haven't been able to move the ball much.
Yeah, we've seen multiple times this year with Princeton. They're really good at adjusting after something doesn't work, especially after those 2 games that they had in the second half, in the second game, in the first half in the first game. They can explode once they find something.
Basketball going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Arvani Gill, so it'll go back to the Comets. They catch a bit of a break there, find themselves down 10. Here's a chance where you want to get something going. It's going to have to be now.
And there it is. Alonzo Gill, only a sophomore, hasn't got a lot of playing time at all this year.
Out to Johnson, no good on the shot. Rebounded by the Vikings. They go in transition. Out to Phipps on the left side. He goes in on top of Trends. Ball goes out of bounds. It looks like it'll be Comet basketball.
Princeton's starting to turn the ball over. Again, without Britton, this is a different team. You can see that they don't have that down low presence, but after that, the Comets definitely have to execute on the defensive end. There's no room for more offensive rebounds against a team that you have the same height advantage as. It's a lot of picked up dribbles around this 3-point line from this Comet team. They got to find a decision and go with it.
Johnson thought about the 3, won't take it. That looks like a push will be called. Johnson was looking for a step back 3, but a whistle was called beforehand.
Don't get him to the line.
Yeah,
that is absolutely massive. Comets will have 4 minutes and 43 seconds of basketball where if they get fouled, they're going right to the line. So you got to expect Coach Tui, every single possession should be going to the basket.
Absolutely, they find themselves in the bonus, and what a better guy to have at the line than Bryson Johnson. He hits that first one already, has 10 points already into the double digits. And Isaac, we look earlier in the season, Johnson had 35 against Fairfield, and that, you know, most of those came from the free throw line. So you get number 1 to the free throw line, he's going to be getting you points.
Yeah, talk about that game. He had 22 attempts from the free throw line.
When do you see that?
Never. You never see that.
Second free throw was no good from the junior. Now the score 27-18. Comets find themselves down 9. Phipps thought about the 3. Now it's the left. Whistle blown before Santiago could get the 3 off.
Yeah, Trent's was beat back door, causing for the foul, but it's our only first foul. So they have room for mistakes like that.
Got it into Sebastian Jordan. Now Phipps guarded by Max Sherplin. Nice pass down. And they connect on the 2.
Comets cannot keep getting beat on the back door. That's most of the points that are coming from Princeton, getting backdoor looks, and then off of those backdoor cuts, they're getting good looks from the three-point line.
Yeah,
but it's only an 11-point game. This Comets team is only a couple shots away from keeping this close, but they got to avoid the backdoor cuts, and they got to get to the free throw line.
Yeah, it just looks like, especially on the defensive side for Mason, Princeton's just, playing more physical down low. When they get the ball at the block, they're putting it up, and the Comets haven't been able to go up with them much one-on-one in those physicality matchups. So, in this little timeout, you hope that's what the Comets are talking about is, hey, you got to go up. If it's a foul, it's a foul, but any way to prevent those points down low, because that and obviously the three-point line is where the Vikings are getting all of their points from.
Yeah, also to mention, Johnson was guarding Santiago Lugo the last time he clipped him around the corner a little bit. He has 2 already. Johnson's got to be very careful with the ways he's playing defense, because without him, this Comet team has struggled for points.
Johnson on the right side, guarded by Santiago Lugo. Now they switch. Will be Johnson on him. Bryson goes up for the 2 and hits it so many times tonight. He's just drove in himself and threw one up. And that time it goes through. Comets now reach the 20 mark.
That is a nifty finish from Johnson. No fear from this junior. He's been the leader of the team all year.
Step back 3, that one no good. Tyler Lupinski gets the rebound.
Love that. That is the best case scenario. Great box out. Lupinski's had that. He's been that guy, that his responsibility for the biggest guys on the court all year. And for him to get that rebound and Princeton fouling all the way on the other end, it's a bad foul for Princeton, but if you're the Comets, you'll take every opportunity you can get.
Javion Jackson was called for the foul. Comets in the bonus. It'll send Lupinski to the free throw line. One of the best free throw shooters on this team, right around 80%. He hits the first one now. A 29-21 game with 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Isaac, Comets, they're putting up a very good fight so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that you got to mention is now with the OHSAA, there's 2 shots for every 5 fouls. They don't go after 5 fouls anymore, so it would be 2 shots for this Comet team. And already lead down to 7. We knew this Comet team could hang with Princeton. It's if they can hang with them for a full 2 halves, and they got to finish this half.
Out to Gill. He checks it back up to Phipps up top. Lupinski hit both of his free throws. He's at 5 on the night. The shot is good from Sebastian Jordan. Now 31-22.
Coach Tui visibly frustrated. Every single point that Princeton's getting is via the backdoor cut. They've thrown it 3 times in that one possession. Comets keep falling for it.
Sherplin out to Tyler Lupinski. He loses control. It's stolen away. The Vikings go up with it. Santiago Lugo is fouled. Looks like that call's going to be on Jacob Lupinski.
That's, again, another thing. The blueprint for this Comet team to beat Princeton is not turning the ball over. And they do it right there. Again, back to a 9-point lead. It's going to stay at this 9, 10, 12 range all day long if the Comets can't separate themselves with a couple made shots and a couple stops.
Lugo is the best free throw shooter in the GMC. Came into tonight, finished the regular season 87.5 from the line, and shockingly to say, he's hit all of them from the line so far that he's attempted. We talk about going later into this game. If the Comets can keep it close, a lot of these games end up going into free throw land with teams getting into the bonus. And if that's the case, this is the last guy out of any team, any player in the GMC that you would want. So the Comets, they'll have to be careful with their fouls. He hits both. Lupinski to Ringwald, back out to Tyler Lupinski, gets it down to Max Sherplin. Ringwald, a deep 3, he hits it!
Ringwald again, that is huge. Didn't really have anything going there, but Ringwald is not afraid to launch it at any means.
He's attempted over 120 three-pointers this season, so you can say he's pretty confident in his shot. big three-pointer there from the senior.
And again, he's playing for his high school career right here. Senior.
Phipps with a nice shot over top of Ringwald. That was great defense, but Phipps just perfectly executed that shot. Their score now 35-25. In these past couple minutes, the Vikings have been keeping this 10-point lead pretty consistently, I say is the right word to be looking for.
Just a stupid foul from Amir Phillips. Princeton coach is furious on the sideline. I'm sure he's going to get subbed out right here, but I mean, the Comets are just getting free shots here from the free throw line to stay in this game. Princeton, there was no need to foul right there. Johnson was just bringing it up the court, and it was just over physicality down below. And the Comets will take that all day. Britton back into the game with 2 fouls. If the Comets can get a third from him, that would be huge by the end of the half.
Ringwald very unfamiliar from the free throw line. Didn't even attempt 10 free throws during the regular season, but that time he hits them. The senior, like you said, playing for his high school career. Britton guarded by Tyler Lupinski on the left side. We've already seen him hit a 3 tonight. But Dylan Ringwald gets the deflection, a nice spin. He resets it.
Comets got to slow down.
That shot from Bryson Johnson blocked, no call. It'll stay with the Comets. How about that play from Dylan Ringwald, able to take it over himself. Wasn't able to take it all the way in, but the Comets do keep possession.
I mean, again, Johnson got cross going. Another backdoor cut. The game plan had to be to keep Princeton off the three-point line, but you got to change something until they start knocking down these shots. They were on fire in the first quarter, but haven't attempted a lot since. Just about a minute to go.
Zips it to Tyler Lupinski. That shot no good. Rings the front of the rim. Now rebounded by Santiago. Set back a three-pointer. No good. Rebounded by Britton and fouled by Tyler Lupinski.
I mean, nothing you really can do there if you're Tyler Lupinski. That's only his first foul. Britton isn't amazing from the free throw line. He went 2 for 10 from the line against the Comets in that first matchup at Mason. 4 for 5 the second matchup, but definitely a guy that's not great from the free throw line. If you're the Comets, you have 2 goals in this end of this minute. You got to get his third foul from Britton, and you got to keep it under 10.
He hits the first one, a 61% free throw shooter in the regular season. And Isaac, you would think with a guy who's playing down low at the block pretty much every time that he's on the court at a 6'9" frame, that he would be, practicing those free throws all the time in the summer. That second one no good, but
and he might be, but he doesn't have the greatest touch around the rim, and that's going to cause your free throw shot. We'll see if the Comets hold, or they should hold until a good shot here. About 40 seconds left in the half.
Talk about no shot clock, so the Comets can hold it as long as they want without any sort of violation. And the Tyler Lupinski looks down to Trends. Pass out to Ringwald. He'll take another 3. No good. Off a couple hands. Off mainly Trends. Now out Santiago Lugo. 3. Got it! Lugo doing what he does best all year. 14.5 left. Princeton has a 39-27 lead. Isaac, every time that number 0 is pulling up from the three-point line, you hold your breath, and that is why.
Yeah, 10 seconds left. Comets got to get a bucket.
It's likely going to come down to Johnson. He's going to take a far one from the top. No good. 2 seconds left on the clock. We'll see if it's enough time.
That's a bad shot from Bryson Johnson, not only because he airballed it, but there's still time on the clock for Princeton. With how fast their pace is, they can definitely get a shot in 2 seconds.
Now 2 seconds left.
Just got to make sure Lugo isn't the one shooting this.
As you mentioned, we are now joined up top. That shot no good. That'll do it for the second. Here we'll head to halftime. The score 39-27. We'll take a break. Stay tuned for more here on Mason Sports Radio. We welcome you back into Lakota West High School for the start of the second half here in OHSAA Round 1 Boys Basketball Tournament. I'm Daniel Panetti, joined alongside Isaac Vargo. After the Princeton leads 39-27. And Isaac, what did we see from that first half from both teams?
Yeah, Princeton was just dominant from the three-point line. Santiago Lugo was on fire, and that's something the Comets have to keep in mind. In this first matchup, he was on fire from three-point range, but he can slow down quick. If the Comets can see one miss from him, that would be clutch. And for this Comet team, they've gotten Princeton at a little bit of foul trouble, so they got to take it to the basket. Bryson Johnson has 2 fouls, so he has to be careful with getting his third or fourth. But also, Princeton's star 6'9" center Britton has 2 fouls. So it's going to be an exciting matchup of basketball. Only a 12-point lead. We'll see if the Comets show out in this second half.
Yeah, Britton, Sebastian Jordan, and Aaron Phipps both have 2 fouls. The Comets got into the bonus very quickly in the second period. You hope as a Mason fan it could stay that way. Sebastian Jordan goes in, loses Dylan Ringwald, and hits the 2. Princeton scores first here in the second half.
Very odd look there. Jordan had it right under the basket. No one was guarding him, and they just put it right back up. Comets have to have a good second half, as I say that.
That one's stolen away, blocked by Johnson, but Phipps was right there to get it back. What a block there from the junior.
I mean, unfortunate that there was a Princeton guy right after, because they would have had that on his highlight reel for sure. Johnson's had a couple of chase down blocks for the 5'11" junior. Can get up there.
Johnson was steaming hot into the paint. He got fouled there. He's been to the free throw line many times tonight. Look, in the first half, he was 5 for 6 from the line. And the 12 points that he has, he makes that 6 for 7. Great night for Bryson Johnson here, and what needs to be the best game of the season is the Comets finds himself down.
Yeah, and already you look up at the scoreboard. When you're down 12, you got to get into the lead as quick as possible. When you look up, it's a 15-point lead, so the Comets got to get stops. They got to get them quick.
The Comet offense was very slow, especially in that second period. Princeton would not let them inside the three-point line at all. That free throw no good, but the defense from the Vikings has probably been the most aggressive that the Comets have seen all season.
Yeah, credit to them for sure. Comets got to strand some stops anyway.
Nice pass to Britton down low. Sherplin couldn't really do much there. As here might be the half that 6'9" center might start to really hit his groove.
And we've seen with this Princeton team, they're really good at getting to their spots.
Ring ball to Johnson. He goes up too short on the shot, rebounded by Princeton. They go quickly. Lugo, a 3, no good. Johnson flies in for the rebound. He will take it up. Runs right in to Johnson. And Britton fouled, will get the and one. 49-28.
Yeah, this is just not the second half you can have for the Mason Comets. The goal is to stay into the game, keep it at 12, and then when you're already down 7, pending 8, already in the first minute and a half, that is killer for this Comet team, and they got to find something quick. They got to get hot from the three-point range if they're going to want any chance of winning this game.
Correction, that shot made it 47-28 first. That free throw is good, so he gets to 3 points. Princeton has their largest lead of the night, 48-28. Hail Mary pass from the Comets to Santiago Lugo. Sebastian Jordan back out to the top, three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Tyler Lupinski. A foul, looks like a Viking went over top of him.
It's just a pass will make you shake your head. You can't make those type of passes. That's exactly what Princeton wants you to do. Princeton, their second foul of this second half. The Comets are going to have to do what they did in the second quarter. And then again there, Coach Shuey's going to ask for a timeout. I mean, you got to have more than one person, and then Bryson Johnson going to get the ball. You know they're going to double him and keep the open Tyler Lipinski, who's taking the ball out. Wyatt Cooper, Dylan Ringwald, some of them has to come back and get the ball because that's an unexcusable turnover.
Yeah, the Comets in this second half already, they've been playing their sloppiest basketball that they have all night, and you can't let that happen. You're down 20. This is not an easy game to get back into. You're facing the GMC champions, the second-ranked team in your region, and Isaac, of the Comets, they keep having possessions like that when you throw it up, and the Vikings are right there waiting for it. This game can quickly get even more out of your reach.
Yeah, definitely getting out of the Comets' hands real quick. Looking after this game, you could see a couple of the guys in the green on the other side. Those aren't Comets, that's the Little Miami Panthers. The winner of this game will face them. And wouldn't it be nice if the Comets can end the season with a game against Little Miami, how they started it. They lost that game at home. Not a threat at all for this Princeton Viking team. 0 for 1, 0 points.
He finds Wyatt Cooper on the left side, now out to Trent. He goes it back up to Tyler Lipinski.
It's a lot of two dribble pickups of this Comet team, and you can't have that against a team that is going to pressure you all the way up until the volleyball line.
Trent might have had Ringwald, but wasn't able to get it to him. Now Cooper back out to Lipinski. The Comets, they can't take too much time on these possessions with a big deficit. Try to get it down to Johnson, but deflected away by Sebastian Jordan. The Vikings are able to take it up. Sebastian Lugo off the board and in.
That's just not the sequence you want if you're the Comets. A great loose ball find there from Sebastian Jordan. Then just out and running.
Three ball from Lipinski, no good. Rebounded by Grantsville Britton. Once again, Sebastian Jordan will take it up. Goes up with it, he's fouled. He will go to the line.
You've seen it all year from this Comet team. They can figure out the first half, but it's just that fatigue and the changes from the opposing team that have just killed this team all year long. They can't get both half going. It's unfortunate, as now the leads to 23. That's number 23. Jacob Lipinski will check in for Wyatt Cooper.
That free throw from Jordan was good. Now 51-28 with 4 minutes 37 seconds left in the period. Second one up and through. And the Vikings.
You go, Trent's going to get it.
Vikings continuing this press while up so much. Lipinski checks it up to Johnson. And the Comets, it's just the same kind of pattern that it's been since late in the first quarter. They're living on the perimeter, not having really anywhere to go. Pass down to Jacob Lipinski. He goes up with it. Shot too short. It was rebounded by Britton.
That's exactly what you want for Jacob Lipinski. Really go with the left hand. Those baby hooks have been his career move. Just a little bit short.
Santiago Lugo, another three. He's at 17 tonight. Ties what he had in the second game versus the Comets this season. I mean, probably, I would say, the best shooter in the GMC, Isaac.
Yeah, absolutely. A guy we talked about, he's streaky for sure. Only 36%, believe it or not, from three. But when this kid is on, for sure he's the best shooter in the GMC.
Trent's an open three, too far. Rebounded. Now to Jordan, he goes up, no good. Rebounded Santiago Lugo, and one.
And Lugo's just been dominant all day long. He's got 19, leads nearing 30. I mean, it's just those one quarters every game for this Comet team. Right now they're down to 18 in this third quarter with just still 3 minutes to go.
Hits this free throw, he would be at the 20 mark. Lugo is a first team all GMC player last year. Looking like he's going to get that same honor 2 years in a row. Free throws good. Santiago Lugo has 20 in this playoff game.
Princeton, talk about a tough team to play. I mean, they've lost 5 games this year, 3 of them coming out of conference against Lima Senior in the 3rd game of the season. They lost big in that one. Indianapolis Cathedral by 25, and then Reynoldsburg by 2. But 3 of those games, as I said, being out of conference, lost to Oak Hills early, and then they lost to Lakota East in a close one at home.
That pass was going to Jacob Lupinski, but way over his head. Another turnover from the Comets.
It's just been an unfortunate way to see this Comet team just start to crumble in this third quarter. Everything's gone downhill, as you saw there with that Wyatt Cooper pass. But this Comet team, hey, they've learned a lot from this year, if anything. They had that win against Middletown on the road. That was their big win of the season. And they're going to have almost all of these guys back next year. So while this year might not have been the year, this was the year that you're going to develop and you're going to get those experiences. So next year, Bryson Johnson already showed this year he's an all GMC type player. Wyatt Cooper has another year. Even Max has another year. So this Comet team definitely could be really good in the future.
Yeah, the only 2 seniors on this team. It was a very short senior night versus Lakota West last Friday of Dylan Ringwald and Braylon Payton. So they're going to lose, one of their best shooters in Dylan Ringwald. But like you said, they're going to get the Lupinskis back. They're going to get a senior Bryson Johnson, a junior Maximilian Sherplin. So this Comet team, they're not going to look much different next year. They're going to have a year of experience under their belts. So next year will be very good, and as well as some very good talent on the JV team.
Yeah, it's just tough to end the season in blowout fashion like this if it stays like this, just because you want to have that close effort, but it just seems defeating when you lose your senior's last game and you lose against a team that you already lost twice against, that you can compete with by a wide margin.
Johnston within the left side.
That being said, a lot of games still.
Gill goes up with it, another and one.
I mean, that is a tough finish right there. Tonio Hunter doesn't get a lot of playing time, but he is a football superstar. Had about 500 all-purpose yards, 6 touchdowns receiving, 3 rushing, and even had a 50-yard passing touchdown. So just talk about a dual threat from both sports.
Yeah, we've seen it many times over our 3 years of calling football when the Comets take on the Vikings. So it's nice having those 2-star athletes. Johnson twisting as he went up with it. Now Ringwald, 3 from the wing, 2 shorts, and rebounded by the Vikings, but it's like Jacob Lupinski too aggressive trying to get it back. It'll be a foul. That's number 5 against the Comets. So now the Vikings will be in the bonus.
Nah, it's just going to be killer when you get a team that's already winning by a lot. You give them extra chances from the free throw line. First one can't connect.
Mason number 5, Tyler Lupinski number 15, Maxim Tripoli for Princeton number
The Vikings seem going down the rest of the way the last couple of years in the playoffs. They won last year when they were a 14 seed. They beat Ross in the first round, but a loss to Lakota West in the second round took them home. But the year before, the 2022-23 season, they were a 5 seed. They made it all the way to the regional semifinals before going down to Fairfield. So another chance for this team. They definitely can make a big run like they did a couple years ago. I mean, this is one of the most talented rosters you'll see, especially in the GMC, or probably in the state.
Just about a minute and a half here left in the third quarter. It's been all Princeton this third quarter of play. Led by 19, make it 22 in this third quarter.
Three from Arvani Gill. The three ball just will not stop for the Vikings. A team that coming in tonight was fourth in the GMC, hitting about 34% of all the three-pointers they took. Not to mention shooting about 50% from the field. And this Comet defense, we knew that mismatch coming into tonight. They were giving up the highest field goal percentage from the field and second highest from the three-point line. So a disadvantage showing. Comets playing aggressive defense. Bryson Johnson's able to get it back on the turnover. Cooper, three from the corner. That time, it lands for the junior.
That was pure there from Wyatt Cooper. High arcing shot. Hasn't had the night he's wanted, of course, but good to see one fall down there. Doesn't look like Princeton's going to hold for one here. About 30 seconds left in the third quarter.
Loses their footing, but is still able to keep it. Now out in the quarter, another three, no good, rebounded, going up with it, but he's fouled.
Number 1, Bryson Johnson, his third.
Who's number 21, Javian Jackson, will go to the line.
Shooting 2.
About 15 seconds left. Comets will almost for sure hold for one shot.
Free throw is good. Now with 15 seconds left, the Comets will have one last chance before the end of the period. Cooper driving in, wanted to find a guy down low. Now Johnson goes up, hits the two. With 3 seconds left, the time will expire. That'll do it for the third period. A half-court shot almost went in. But that is it for the end of the third. The Vikings, a huge lead, 66-35. We'll head to the floor. Stay tuned here on Mason Sports Radio. welcome you back to Lakota West High School for the fourth period here in this round one matchup. The Vikings, one of the best quarters of their season. Now they lead 66-35.
And you wouldn't have thought after that third quarter, after those first two quarters of play, that Princeton would nearly double the Comets score in the third quarter, but that was the story tonight. It's been a rain of three-pointers for Princeton all day. A pass there from Jacob.
Tyler Lupinski one-on-one. He falls to the floor going up with it. He'll be sent to the line. But just not the third quarter that any Mason Comet fan would have wanted. Maybe the worst case scenario for the Comets there. Just felt like they couldn't get anything offensively going, and all the shots for Princeton was falling.
Yeah, you thought after that second quarter with how many free throws they got and how close they'd keep it, you definitely have no margin of error, down 12 going into that third quarter. But the Comets unfortunately had a rough start, leading to a snowball effect, eventually making it 30 points. That's where we stand.
Lupinski hits that one. Out to Phipps on the left side. He now drives in. Hunter found Phipps. Goes in 2-on-1, no good, but the rebound from Princeton. Second chance opportunity, no good. Phipps fighting with Johnson.
What a board there inside. But Jackson couldn't clean it up though. It stays at Princeton. Good toughness there from Johnson, but just a couple of red jerseys around them to get the ball back in their hands.
Jackson at a 6'2" frame, listed as a guard. You would think with the frame he has, he might be more of a forward, but he's a guy who can do it from anywhere on the court. To Phipps up top. He'll pull up from three. He hits it from the wing. Phipps, another one. That makes it 69-36.
Yeah, Phillips is the future of this team for sure. A couple juniors, a lot of seniors on this team, but he's the leader of the sophomores for sure. And he can pick him up, put him down, knock it down for sure.
Phipps has 11 for a guy who's only averaging around 3 points a game. He's having one of his best this year. Foul goes against Morris Hodge.
So after this, assuming Princeton holds on with a victory, they'll face Little Miami in the coming days. It was actually here to watch who they would play. They got the opportunity to have a bye. They were 6th seed. Princeton, this is one of the only games in D1 and D2 that were being played today. Just before this, Loveland knocked off Anderson pretty easily. They had a pretty good showing from their student section. Comets have a pretty good showing as well from the Black Hole tonight.
Two-pointer from Johnson is good. Now puts the Comets at 38. She said, pretty nice showing from the Black Hole in their all-black theme tonight. And we know once we look on the girls' side of things and their potential state championship run, you know, a team that won the GMC, only one loss on the year. That's a team that can make it very far. You know the Black Hole is going to be at almost all of those games remaining, showing out. And you know, that's one of the biggest things about Mason is their student section and how they represent these sports teams. They do such a fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to that girls game, talking about all black, when do you ever see Mason Comets were the away team and they were wearing all black, and Western Hills showed up in all black, and the Comets had to change their whites. They got the technical foul to start the game, something you never see, but with that girls team, that is going to be exciting next couple of weeks with a GMC team as talented as them, Maddie Parrish, Anna Habra. They have all the experience, they have all the talent, expecting nothing less than a state run for them for sure.
Absolutely. In the past couple of years, it has been bombarded by a couple teams. Last year, it was against Springboro in that 7-point loss when Bryn Martin hit all of those threes to beat the Comets in that one. So look on the girls' side. Hopefully a lot more broadcasts is what this would mean for that team.
Yeah, I know the Comets are playing Springfield tomorrow. You'll be able to call that game, but for Springboro, let's hope the Comets don't run into Bryn Martin. She put up 33 in that game and was pretty much the only reason why the Comets lost that game. Maddie Parrish had 36 of her own. So Comets, of course, this Princeton girls team could be one of their factors, team that could take them out of the playoff, but besides that, you could see not a lot of teams competing with this Comet team.
Yeah, you keep it on that side. The Comets, they made it to state 4 years ago in Maddie Parrish's freshman year. Now, her being a senior, a West Virginia commit, one of the top players in the state, you know, that urge, that feeling of wanting to not only make it back to state, but get that trophy in your hands this year. You know, I don't think there's any person on that team that wants that more than Parrish. And this Comet team, I would say the best. You know, us being juniors, the 3 years, we've seen some very good Mason Comets girls basketball teams. I'd say probably the most talented that we have seen is this year.
Yeah, especially for Parrish, losing in the state championship game in overtime is killer. And you got to think that she's had her best year statistically, about 18 points per game, first in the GMC. She's struggled as of late, but you got to think she's going to rally the troops and find any way possible to get back to that point and bring the state championship back to the 45040.
So that game against Springfield will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. We will be live streaming that game at Fairborn High School. So be sure to tune into that tomorrow at 2. Got no good. Your score now 70-38 for the Princeton Vikings. Ball flying in the air. No one's able to get it. Still out and about, but Johnson's able to pull it in. Now out to Trends, to Jacob Lupinski. He's able to hit it. Comets get to the 40 mark. Three-pointer no good.
Blackhole having a little bit of fun, knowing this season it's pretty much ended it, giving a little bit of treatment to Princeton with a air ball chant down 30. It's nothing like dancing down 50, which was what Western Hills did. I've never seen that before, Daniel.
Absolutely. That was certainly a moment.
Good hands from Tyler.
In transition, no good. To Ringwald, he'll pull up from the left wing, three, no good. Johnson goes up for the rebound, unable to haul it in.
Just under 4 minutes left in this game. Expect a low-pace Princeton offense.
There's a three, hits it from the wing. Alonzo Gill, the sophomore, hits it that time. 73-40 for the Vikings.
Yeah, Gill, brothers of his senior Arvani, but he's just a sophomore. Princeton having fun here at Dakota West. On the other side, Comets, devastating end of their season. And now we'll check out is Dylan Ringwald. A tough way to go out. A guy that's been here all 4 years, played mostly at the JV level, helped out last year at the end of the season as a junior, three-point specialist, one of Coach Tui's favorite players over the last couple years. Braylon Payton also checking in, the other senior for this Comet team.
Yeah, it's an emotional Dylan Ringwald in the sideline. A very long hug with Coach Dewey and going over to all of his teammates there on the bench. Three-pointer, too short. But what a career for Dylan Ringwald and all he's given to this program.
And if you're Braylon Payton, don't get a lot of play time this year. It's going to be your last high school varsity game. You already see he's chucking them up any way possible, trying to get his name in the box score.
Number 2, Jack Troji. Number 15, Maxim Tripoli.
2 minutes, 56 seconds left here in the fourth as the Comet season winds down. Payton hits the free throw. Blackhole loves it.
Yeah, it's nice to see Braylon Payton get on the board.
Rejected by Austin Trent, but it looks like it'll be called a foul. It's number 3 in the quarter for the Comets.
Kenny Pope, shooting 2.
Pope's mostly a swing guy, but he's getting a couple minutes as well, underclassman for Princeton.
Strickland will get it up to Payton. He steps back, takes a 3, no good. Some of the JV guys in for the Comets. Sharplin a spin, goes up, too short on the shots. Vikings turn it over again. Nice move there from Austin Trent.
Talking about Austin Trent, he's going to be a superstar for this Mason team. Seen a couple comparisons saying Ben Maker, how he was a freshman on varsity and how Trent's almost 100% will be, unless he decides to transfer, will be a 4-year varsity guy. And he's an exciting player. He can do it from all 3 spots. Swanson will check in for Max Praylin, but it's a guy definitely, if you're Coach Tui, you can look towards in the future.
Yeah, talk about the size of Trent, one of the biggest guys on this team just as a freshman. The JV squad, Jude Markic, standing at the tall frame that he has, he's likely going to be getting a lot of varsity time next year as kind of that big man that the Comets have been missing this year.
Also something to mention, Trent has a brother, a little brother that's going to be a freshman next year. Even taller. As Payton gets on the board again.
How about that? The whole Mason side erupts. What a play there from Braylon Payton, the senior. It's that last little varsity moments. Talk about Braylon Payton. Kind of surprised he didn't get more playing time this year, being one of the most physical guys on this Comet team. And when he does get in, he is able to show that.
Like going back, Trent's little brother in 8th grade this year. He's going to be a freshman next year. He's 6'6", with around the same skills as Trent. So could be a little brother duo. You'll have 2 of them next year with Lipinski and Trent. So that's something fun to look towards.
6'6" in 8th grade sounds absurd.
There's a reason they won the GMC this year.
That one turned over by the Comets. Braylon Payton runs into the Viking. Now, minute 34 left in this one. That's in the bonus for the Vikings. Free throw good, now 76-45. Like you said, the Vikings after tonight will go on to play Little Miami, the 8th seed of the Comets, started out their season with. Trends gets it, mid-ranger, no good. Goes in for the rebound, is unable to pull it in.
Daniel, it just seems like here, as Princeton goes crazy for that make. And it seems like a popularity contest out here nowadays at the end of this game. I mean, definitely a kid that you would expect doesn't play a whole lot with a reaction like that. Definitely going to be a technical from Princeton's sideline with how many players that weren't playing on the court right out there. As it looks like that's what they're going to do with about 1:08 left. Daniel, what I'd like to see to end the season, get Jude Markage out there. I want to see a part 2 Mason Comet dunk.
We saw it in the Withrow pink out game. Like you said, the most Mason dunk ever when it happened.
There it is. Coach Tui must have heard me. Jude Markage going to the scorer's table as Braylon Payton getting his chance on the free throw line.
Payton hits that one.
Gotta love the sportsmanship from both sides. Cheering on their guys that don't get a lot of minutes. So that'll be it for Braylon Payton. Ends on a good ending.
He gets some hugs from the sideline. Last time he will put on a Mason Comet uniform. A nice little few minutes there from the senior. Him and Dylan Ringwald playing their last games as Comets. Colin Minogue, now number 0 with it, to Markich. Now three-pointer from the top, way short.
Well, 50 seconds left. Looks like Princeton's gonna hold it.
A tight defense from Minogue. So here's a little preview of the future of the Comets. The JV team, a very nice season under head coach, Coach McCune. 29 seconds left after the whistle. Minogue called for that foul.
About 29 seconds to go in the game. It'll be the last possession for the Comets of the season. Ends in disappointing fashion against Princeton, who will defeat them for the 3rd time this year.
And up with it was Jack Droege. No good. Now under 10 seconds left in this one. The Vikings will hold on to it, and they will move on to the next round to take on Little Miami, the 8th seed. That game will be Wednesday the 26th here at Lakota West at 6 o'clock. And with that, the Mason Comets season comes to an end.
Yeah, absolutely. Comets, not the way they wanted to finish. But as we said, a very young team that will turn into an experienced team going in the next couple of years. Shout out to their seniors, Dylan Ringwald and Braylon Payton. As we move on to girls basketball and spring sports in the coming couple of weeks/months.
So that'll do it here from Lakota West High School. Comets go down to the Princeton Vikings 82-47. I've been Daniel Panetti, joined alongside Isaac Vargo, Trevor Rose directing, and Connor Vornberg doing the camera work behind the scenes. That's been all. We'll be broadcasting tomorrow 2 p.m. as the Comets take on Spring.